Chapter 8, Mishnah 1. We learned in Chapter 7, Mishnah 10, that if water that was drawn to be used for mechatas is given to a watchman who is tame, the water is invalid, because a tame person cannot be trusted to guard the water from tuma, and water that is unguarded is invalid for mechatas. This Mishnah discusses how that law applies when the water is guarded by two watchmen. Two people were guarding a trough of spring water designated for mechatas. If one of them became tame, the water remains valid to use for mechatas because it is under the custody of the second watchman, who is tahor and can guard it properly. If the tame person became tahor and then the second person became tame, the water is still valid because it is under the custody of the first watchman, who is now tahor. However, if both of them are tame at the same time, the water is disqualified because it no longer has a tahor person to watch it. The Mishnah now discusses the law when the watchmen perform unrelated activities while watching the water. We learned in the previous chapter, Mishnah 10, that when a watchman guarding the spring water performs an unrelated activity, the water becomes invalid to use for mechatas. The Mishnah discusses how that law applies when water is being guarded by two watchmen. If one of the watchmen did an unrelated activity, the water is valid because it is under the custody of the second watchman, who is not doing an unrelated activity. If the first watchman stopped his unrelated activity and then the second watchman did an unrelated activity, the water is still valid because it is under the custody of the first watchman, who is not doing any unrelated activity. However, if both of them did unrelated activities at the same time, the water is disqualified.